If you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. It's called Anchor. You can download it today at the Play Store. Peace. Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy, Derek Brent here with Strike7Sports.com. Another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Brian Botta and Leo Seabury. It's another episode of the Strike 7 Sports Podcast. And we're going to jump into it real quick. Opening bell. Go ahead and discuss a few topics that has occurred in the past, I would say, 8 hours. And we'll open up and talk about this recruit, the number 2 recruit in the country. According to recruits, Deion Sanders flipped from going from a traditional P5 school, Florida State, to Jackson State, which is like down the road from us in Memphis, in the surrounding area. So I'm going to go ahead and just read the story real quick. Travis, number 2 overall recruit, college football recruit, Travis Hunter. Deion Sanders flipped from Florida State to Jackson State on National Signing Day. So cornerback Travis Hunter, the number 2 ranked recruit in the country, flipped his commitment from Florida State to Jackson State on Wednesday to become the first 5-star high school prospect to sign with the FCS team since ESPN started its rankings in 2006. Jackson State head coach Deion Sanders, a Pro Football Hall of Fame defensive back, teased before the start of the early signing period that he was going to pull off something historic, and now he has pulled away a 5-star defensive back from his alma mater. Hunter, a 6'1", 165-pound prospect out of Collins High School in Stoney, Georgia, had been committed to Florida State since March. So here you have it on his Twitter. He announced he was going from Florida State to Jackson State. Alright, so quote, "Florida State has always been a beacon for me," Hunter said in his Twitter post Wednesday. "I grew up down there. That's where my roots are, and I never doubted it that I would play for the Seminoles. It's a dream. It's hard to let go of, but sometimes we are called to step into a bigger future than the one we imagine for ourselves. For me, that is at Jackson State University," end quote. Alright, so there you have it. Deion was able to get this guy to go from Florida State to Jackson State. And I also read in the report that NIL was involved as well, from thanks to the people at Barstool Sports, who I think Sanders has his podcast hosted on 21st and Prime. I think the deal is like a $1 million NIL contract. Well, I won't say contract, but sponsorship deal with Barstool. So probably see him in some, make some appearances in some Barstool stuff in the future. But I want to ask y'all this. You see Deion bringing these recruits to Jackson State that in previous years will probably go to one of the Power 5 schools. And Deion has some success with Jackson State recently. I think he led them to the he led them to the SWAC championship. Jackson State having a pretty good year. I think they're going to the Celebration Bowl down in Atlanta. Well, I want to ask y'all, out of all of the, I would say, great players that have played football or basketball, you know, Penny Hardaway, Deion, Eddie George, who else? Juwan Howard. Do you think Deion Sanders is having the most success out of all of them right now?
I'll say yeah. Because I think it's underrated too, because like you said, Jackson State is a FCS school.
Yeah.
And FCS schools are not really as powerful as these other schools in terms of getting the talent, marquee talent. JSU usually gets scratched from they're getting the scratch from Southern Miss, Mississippi, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. They're getting the scraps left over normally from their schools. But now, I would say you have to say Deion Sanders is having the best performance out of all the other formats. He's winning the most games, and to be honest, like of the most like more formal like Alec, like the guys that like the most. I'm assuming you're talking about most of the black guys that have been coaches and
that
were former players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he definitely have the most success, and it's really like slept on because a lot of people want Deion to fail. A lot of people do. It's crazy, but they want him to fail, and he's really proven the odds against everything. And so he probably say he is the one having the most success. But I have a question, DB, once Brian gets a chance to answer the question. Do y'all think that and the question is, do y'all think that him going to FCS school, Travis Hunter, will affect like his draft NFL start? Because you know how they'll say he didn't play against top-notch competition and all that, or no? But obviously it's 3 years away from when he'll be able to go to the draft. But obviously, do y'all think that'll be having an effect? Like if players start going to FCS schools, is that why? Yeah, I think there's a lot of reason why like people don't go to FCS schools that much. Like players that top-notch players that may want to go to FCS school don't go because people in the draft they'll say, "Well, he didn't play against top-level competition."
I'll explain. Can I take this one real quick, DB?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you can play, they'll find you. They'll find you. So I wouldn't be worried about. I feel like most players, they want to go where a coach has a track record. So even if you're like at a smaller school, they'll more than likely get the big school. But if you have a good track record, some players will put that aside. Players don't. There's a lot of reasons why players go to big schools or to get to the NFL. Some players know they're not going to be that good. They just go scholarship. And some players just go because it's home and they just like the campus vibes. So there's so many reasons why players pick a school. But like I said, you can play. I'll find them. I've seen them pull when I've been watching the draft. I've seen them pull up somebody from Northwestern State, something like that. If you can play, they'll find you.
Yeah, I agree with Brian on this one as well. He's I think as long as he listen to Deion, follow his guidance and all that, I think he's gonna do fine. Just a lot of the NIL, the NIL factor now. With you got great, former great players going to HBCUs is just changing the dynamics in college football, and I think as long as he follow Deion's guidance, I think he's gonna do fine. I think he's gonna be, he could be a first round pick, second round pick. That's all up to him. But scouts are everywhere. Scouts, even when I was covering the Memphis games, they had like quite a few scouts at those football games. They're not gonna tell you who they're looking at, but they're there. But I think he's gonna do fine. I don't think he's gonna really affect his draft stock unless it's barring some type of serious injury or anything like that. But I think he's gonna do fine. But in regards to Deion's impact on Florida State, I would have to put it right up there with I would say Juwan Howard right now. And I think it is. I do agree with Lee that it's being underrated. It's being kind of downplayed. He's having success. He led the program to a SWAC championship. The stadiums, I've watched a couple of clips online on through social media that the stadium out there in Jackson State is sold out now. The homecoming sellout. SWAC championship was a sellout. A lot of games have been packed, 50,000, strong going in the stadiums. So I think he's having that type of impact with that program. So, and hopefully with Penny Harder we got the same type of impact going forward. But I think he's doing pretty well, man. Deion Sanders right now is doing really good at Jackson State. You got anything else to add?
I'll go real quick. I have 2 questions. So, one, do you think he should stay at Jackson State and build that up? Or do you think it's like opportunity, let's say Florida State opens up, should he take that and try to maybe win a national championship? Because I think the way he can recruit, and something I just thought of, one thing I believe that's helping him, obviously a great player, but him being part of that Under Armour All-American game, that really helped him, in my opinion. He made a lot of connections, and he was around a lot of elite athletes, so people are seeing that, and then I think they really, really, not saying it's everything, but that can't help him. It kind of reminds me of like when Coach K was coaching Team USA, that helped him in recruiting. So I kind of like look at them the same way. I know the under game is just high school, the best of the best, and Team USA is the best pros, not some of the best college players. But the point is, stuff like that helps you in recruiting. But like, I personally would like for him to stay, but if he decides to go to like Florida State, I wouldn't mind it, because as Jackson State, I think they're moving. Is it the conference? They're moving up. I think Conference USA.
They're going to Conference USA. What was this?
USA. They're moving. Let me see which one they're moving. And I'll have my computer right now.
Wait, so they're going to FBS?
Yeah, they're going to the FBS. See.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's wild, man. In like 2 years, bro.
I mean, DB, you gotta get in while you get in. So they had the opportunity. Alabama's up there too. You better get out of there.
But it kind of like, doesn't it kind of like take away the, I guess the HBCU type, feel to it.
Environment.
Yeah,
like the environment, like the little rivalry that they had. Alcorn State playing the Ramblings of the world. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It was a tradition from that, man.
I think he'll keep that. They'll fix.
If it brings, on the other hand, if it brings the type of the dollars, the revenue, then man, it could be a good move, man. That could change that entire university, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're moving to the Conference USA in July 1st, 2023.
Man, when was this?
This was like when all this expansion stuff.
I thought that was just like hearsay.
Rumors. I thought that was rumors.
No, when all this expansion happened, because Conference USA, they were, because when the A,
Jackson State
they from the Sun Belt, then the Sun Belt took from the Conference USA, so Conference USA had to add a few teams, but they probably wouldn't even be a conference anymore. So that's one of the reasons why. But I like it for Jackson State. It's going to help them. But yeah, I don't know if y'all can answer my question. Do y'all think he should stay if he gets a bigger job, leave if he gets a bigger job, or just stay and build this?
Personally, it's about what he wants. I don't think he wants to leave. Like, personally, because ultimately we can say what he should do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about what he wants to do. I don't think he wants to leave, but if he were given a choice, like, okay, Florida State comes up, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he'll take the Florida State job. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
They'll go. Think about this. What's more, if Deion Sanders were to go let's say they go 3-7 at Jackson State. The locals not gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad at you. But it's way less pressure going 3-7 at Jackson State and Conference USA versus going 3-7 at Florida State in the ACC. You already. See, look at you, Brian. You're already talking about Mike Norvell losing his job. He's only in year 3. He's about to be in year 3 next year.
Yeah, I never said. Hold on, can I correct you? I never said. That's what some people are saying on Twitter after.
But the fact that you're talking about it means
I like Norvell, and I want him to stay there as long as he can. He's gonna have to eventually start winning more games, but I want him to stay. But go ahead. I'll let you talk, then I'll make my point.
But the fact that you're talking about this, if the job comes open, which means there's a possibility that it could be, he could probably get fired at the next year. If they don't win next year, he probably get fired next year. But that's not the point of the question. The point is, if Deion would have TCU job, I wonder if he got considered for that job. It was several jobs that I feel like he could have probably got qualified for, like the Florida State job. Based on being, I think he only will be a candidate because he's an alumni. That's the only reason why he'd be a candidate for that. I don't think he really, personally, I don't think he should take the job. I think he should stay where he's at, where there's less pressure. But then again, you never know. Maybe he wants a bigger challenge because you could say you already built HBCU. Before he got to Jackson State, they were one of the worst HBCUs in football. I'm sorry, they stunk. And I came up with HBCU football because I like this guy named Jay Walker who covers for ESPN. I follow him, and he keeps me up. One of the people guys who kept me updated with their football. They stunk for him. He changed the whole program, and also. I think that his roots is already tied there. Like Shadur is there. Deion Sanders is his quarterback. I think the starting quarterback, true freshman, is his son, right?
Right.
So if he leaves to go somewhere, his son's gonna follow behind him, and he's gonna want to put his son in a situation, and they can't guarantee a starting position at Florida State. You're not saying Jackson State just bad at quarterback without Shadir, but he can gave Shadir the job from day one. You can't, and his connections have already been established there. So I think Brian, he's gonna stay there for a while. That's his roots are. He's not going. He has no intentions of leaving.
Yeah, and this can I say so?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll go.
Then another thing is he's Deion Sanders, man. He already has money, man. He's already established, financially and all that. He doesn't have to get his agent to mention other jobs so that he can get leverage from Jackson State to get more money. He don't have to do any of that, man. He's there, he's there on his own accord,
Yeah. What was on to say, the only thing I'll say is, in my opinion, if you're not at least interested, you don't take the interview. That's just my opinion. So he did interview with TCU. They probably wanted a more experienced coach, so I think they made the right decision going with Sonny Dykes. But I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. But you do make a good point about his son. But his son will find a spot. If he finds the right situation, I think he could leave. But the thing is, because think about the recruits he's getting at Jackson State. And so now with this transfer portal, NLI, and all this stuff, you get the right situation, he could do well. And it's up to him. I'm not sure if he can win a national championship. That's really hard to do. But I think he can recruit well. Number one thing in coaching is your staff and recruiting. If he can do those things, and I believe he can do that, I think he can get where he wants to be. But yeah, right now, if I was him, I would stay. But I would always take the interviews, because you never know. The right situation may come. But I like what he's doing at Jackson State, and I hope he keeps it up.
All right, so moving right along. Next topic, we're gonna talk about our Memphis Tigers, as they were able to defeat the Alabama Crimson Tide, a school that is known for being a powerhouse in college football. Now it's all dating back to like last year. They're now starting to be a force in basketball under Nate Oates. But they were able to beat, they lost yesterday against Memphis 92-78. I'm not surprised about a victory. The team was, the backs were against the wall. Came from behind and beat Alabama. Well, they were beating them in the beginning. Alabama tried to change it up, try to get in there and change the momentum. Memphis came back on them again, tied it up. Well, not tied up, but to the lead, 37-32 going into the half. Alabama tried to get it, got it to like within 9, but Memphis just kept the foot on the gas. And in this game, I just saw the team come together. I saw the veterans on this program come together, better ball movement. I still saw a few, foolish mistakes where they start playing the hero ball. I keep seeing them doing in games when they have a lead, trying to drive. It just cut down on that, man. Just maintain the lead, man. But they're able to survive. Tyler Harris made shots. DeAndre Williams put up 20. I've been waiting to see this dude show up all year. I think Williams is one of the best players. Glad he showed up. Jalen Duran, that's going to be difference maker going forward, I think, in my opinion. Having him on there, destroy it up to him, lob it up to him, he's going to finish it. You got to get rebounds, make shots. He shipped in with 14 points. I like the lineup he put out there in this game. Just want to get what y'all takeaways on this.
I'll take this one first. I think y'all know how much I've been criticizing Penny Hardaway, and rightfully so.
He's been doing it all summer, man, all year.
So I'm happy for him that he got the win. One thing, I may be a harsh critic, but when you do well, I'll give you your credit. And they needed this win. Some people are saying that this is going to save their season. I'm not going to get that far. but it helps them. It makes their job a little easier. Now, how consistent can you be? But someone made a good point. A lot of that run that made was with Amani Bates on the bench. So how is Penny Hart to get y'all's thoughts? How do you think he'll manage this situation? And also another thing, he has Chandler Lawson and Earl Timberlake coming back. And also made a good point. Earl Timberlake can now actually help because they have to shorten that rotation. So the question is, can he do that going forward? Because I feel like if they could do that, I think they got a good shot against Tennessee because Tennessee isn't as good as Alabama. But that game's going to be ugly. That's the way I see that one going. But that's really the big question for me. Can they be consistent? Can he get out of his own way? Figure out your 8 or 9 guys and stick with it. And you may have to either do the same thing you did with Amani Bates, don't give that many minutes, or bring him off the bench. But I like what the Tigers are. I like what I saw from the Tigers last night. That to me showed us what their ceiling could be. They beat one of the best teams in the country. Now can they beat the teams in the AAC and ultimately make it to the tournament? Because that's what the number one goal of this season was to make it to the tournament. I know some people are talking about national championship. That's nice and all, but first you got to get to the tournament. And they're close. They got they have the pieces, they have the chemistry. Apparently they held a players only team meeting. And I feel like that really helped them. So now let's see what they do moving forward.
Go ahead, Lee.
You there, Lee? Lee sleeping?
He's gonna fell asleep.
Alright, I just want to get your thoughts.
Alright, man. I'll go ahead.
Thing. And do you think that can be a problem moving forward? Someone on Aaron Torres, you probably heard of it. He made a point of that. I wonder what your thoughts on that are.
Man, I think right now, man, for the betterment of the team, for the greater good of the team, you might have to leave Amani Bates on the court, on the bench, man. For right now, man, you might have to leave him on the bench. It may suck, but it ain't the end of the world, man. It's not the end of the world. Let him get better at his craft. Let him, practice. Not saying that, not keep him up, keep him up the game entirely, but let him start off on the bench right now. I think as long as everybody play within their roles, I think they're gonna be fine. I think they're gonna be fine against Tennessee, Houston, SMU, whoever else is in the AEC once conference play starts. Once everybody playing their roles, not overstep their boundaries, good ball control, flow through the game, I think they'll be successful, man. But if they get out of that and start, let's start all of the foolish stuff with the turnovers and missing free throws, it's gonna be a long year. But I saw they were better at free throws yesterday. They made threes. They made the free throws yesterday. They played together. As long as they do that, I think they're gonna be fine. But for Amani Bates, I think he needs to stay out of the rotation right now. Stay on the bench.
I'm not sure if I say stay out of the rotation. I think you can still, because the one thing you can say about him is he's shown he got a little better defensively, but he can get buckets. And you need that because some of those guys, they play well, but you have off nights. So I wouldn't say go as far to just take him completely out of the rotation, but he needs to come off the bench. And I think put Lester Quinones, ironically, Benny called out the veterans, and he was like, maybe I don't need to play them more, but they're the guys that really helped him. Tyler Harris has been unbelievable. I really he should get a scholarship as soon as possible. But I think Bates can still be helpful just off the bench, and he does. I feel like maybe he has a little bit too much pressure, but if he comes off the bench, he can be himself. He doesn't have to be the next coming up Kevin Durant like a lot of people want him to be. He can just be himself. But the AAC is going to be tough. I was watching a little bit of UCF. I think they beat tough. So they're going to be a tough team. But it'll be interesting to see the AAC moving forward. But yeah, this team have the pieces. They shown what they can do on a big stage. So now they got to just do it more consistently. And if they do that, they'll make the tournament.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine, man. You beat Alabama, then you follow by a win with Tennessee. I think you got a little wiggle room to like mess up. I would say like mess up all the way, but you can take a few L's in the AEC and be fine. But I think if they win this game this Saturday, it's gonna be okay. It's a little room to screw things up, but then they're gonna be fine. So looking forward to the game on Saturday in Nashville. Should be a packed crowd. Expect a lot of Memphis fans to be there. It's a good little drive, nice little vacation for the weekend. Should be nice. Looking forward to it. All right, so moving right along, we'll start with the NFL and what occurred this week. I'm gonna highlight a specific player that I've noticed over the past few weeks, and that's Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, and talk about how he is having an impact for this football team. Now Parsons, this guy has, as a rookie, 12 sacks, man. 12 sacks, 75 tackles right now. 3 forced fumbles. You saw what he did in a game against the Washington football team. Pretty much changed the game for the Cowboys, even though Dallas almost gave it up at the end. A lot of talk about how they were blaming Dak and all that, but I think it's gonna be Mark McCarthy more than anything. But I want to ask you this: do you think Micah Parsons should be considered for league MVP? We already know he's gonna get Defensive Rookie of the Year, and possibly gonna get Defensive Player of the Year.
He's a good player, but now I just don't think. In my opinion, it'll always. I'm not saying I always agree, but it'll probably go to a quarterback. I really don't wide open, in my opinion, the MVP. But he's definitely defensive. Defensive Rookie of the Year. If you want to say he's the defensive player of the year in the NFL, I can give him that. But the MVP, that to me, he's good, but he's impacted that. But he's been unbelievable for a rookie.
Why not?
Say what?
Why not?
I just don't think
for a quarterback. It's for.
I hope he proves it, but it's not. The thing is, it's not. I don't vote. I don't make so. They could if they give it to him, he'll deserve it. That's in my opinion.
I think, man, if this guy, God forbid, but if this guy goes down, bro, I think it could be the difference between them not getting to the Super Bowl, man, or not getting far in the playoffs, man. Because when you got Parsons, you got him, Randy Gregory, what's the other guy they paid? DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs, Van Der Esch, the other linebacker. When they're on the field together, man, Dallas is a really good defense, man. I'm watching this game. This guy, pretty much stopping drives, man. Like changing the outcome for Dallas, man. I saw him. He did it to the Saints when the Saints was driving the red zone. He shut that down. Washington, like they was trying to get on the move. He shut that down with the turnover. I mean, we haven't seen a player, I would say, have these type of impacts on defense since like Aaron Donald, Lawrence Taylor, those type of players. And I think if he gets to if they get to the playoff and he's still healthy, and he, I would say, face guys like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, if he do what he did to what that guy name is, Washington, the QB, Heineke. Heineke, if he does that to them, man, some consideration for MVP should be made, because I think he'll eat Matthew Stafford's lunch, man. For real. But I mean it should be considered, man. This guy is really good, man. I come out of Penn State. I think it was 11 overall pick. Dallas got a good one, man. Like, and I also, as much as people talk about Jerry Jones, criticize him, he drafts really good. To say he's a GM at his age, he drafts some really good players. What you think?
Yeah, he's good. Again, another thing why I wouldn't give it, that defense, they have a lot of good players here. Not only that, I think Dan Quinn, if there's a coordinator of the year, he would win it. He's been that good for them. Someone made a good point on Twitter. Dan Quinn fixes everything. He may blow leads. I think that's fair. Everywhere he goes, the place their team gets better. But again, to me, it's a quarterback award. Right now, I don't know who the top of my head.
Wilbur Johnson Taylor.
I would have him over Micah Parsons because he's arguably been the best back, especially with Derrick Henry going out. But he's been really, really good. But yeah, I can't give it to Micah Parsons. I also want to know your thoughts. There's a quote where he said the NFL is apparently easy. I want to know your thoughts on that. Maybe easier for him. He's a really good athlete. He has a really good coach and really good players around him. But do you think that was a wise thing for him to say?
I don't have an issue with what he said. I mean, you want your players to have confidence in their abilities. I don't have an issue with it. Until they figure out how to move the ball around him, how to stay away from him, how to avoid him, he's gonna be an issue, man. That's what I think. That guy is all over the place, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they said that, but that's his opinion. Just as long as you back it up.
Right.
But if you have a bad game, we better not be looking for you. You better man up and come in the media and handle your business. But I think he has that opinion, and as long as he's able to play well, he can stay stuff like that. But the most important player for the Cowboys, in my opinion, is Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
They know as far as he goes. Their defense is improved, and that's been really, really important. But if Dak doesn't play well and the offense doesn't play well, they have no chance to reach their ceiling.
Yeah, you're right. I know people have been I've been hearing a lot of comments throughout the the national media about him getting paid, and was he really worth the money, and he's not a Josh Allen or Mahomes. But I'm like, Josh Allen he ain't looking too good himself, but we'll talk about him later. But he's doing no better than Josh Allen right now. I think he's doing a little, quarterbacks have issues, man. They're not going to be 100 on every. They're not going to be on every Sunday, man. They're going to go through their valleys, man. Their peaks and valleys.
Yeah. Now, I just want to know your opinion. I'd rather have Dak over Josh Allen. He's more consistent, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
That's a tough question, man. I like both of them guys because I like mobile QBs and all that, but I like Dak, man. I've been a fan of Dak since he was in Mississippi State, man. I like the guy's personality, mature for that, to say that position he's in. He's in a high level position, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You got to be pretty much on your game in that position, and he knows how to handle it. He's mature, always says the right things. The guys, he got the leadership. They back him up in the locker room. So I would go with Dak, man. I like Dak.
I think Dak right now is a better player, but who has a chance to be better long term? I'll go with Josh Allen. I think that's fair to say. Yeah,
that's true. All right. So, speaking of Josh Allen, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and the issues right now with this team. They lost another close game to another, I would say, a Super Bowl team contender now. They lost last Monday against the New England Patriots. They just could not, get anything going offensively. New England would let them drive to the red zone, but once they got to the red zone, New England would just flip the switch and shut them down. They lost that game. Then they lose a close one in overtime to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Brady is. I think he has a one of. I think his record. He has a very good record against Buffalo, and he owns them. But Buffalo lost this game in overtime, and I saw the same issues they had in the New England game. And despite the Bills being I would say they did the top defense in the league, number one in total defense. They gave up a lot of yards to Leonard Fournette. They gave up a lot of yards to New England. They lost both of these games. Now Buffalo's record is, I believe, it's 7-6 right now. I think they're still in the wild card race right now. They think the 7th seed. Next 4 games against Panthers, Patriots, Falcons, and Jets. Those are the last 4 games of the year. Now I think, in my opinion, I know things can change and all that, but I think they take care of business and they get in the playoffs. I think they're going to win these games. And they possibly might lose to New England, but who knows? They might get New England back, might get the revenge on them. We'll see. But I think they're going to get to the playoffs. Now I want to ask you, we've seen this in the past where teams that we expect to be better in the regular season, they don't actually live up to the hype, but they still get to the playoffs. They flip the switch and they go on a deep run. So I want to ask you, do you think the Bills are that type of team where they get to the playoffs, not as a division winner, but as a wild card, and go on a run, given that the talent on their roster?
Yeah, I think the Bills have a chance. They just got to figure it out offensively. Defense has been a little suspect too, but they've also played some really good teams. So it's not like they've lost to some bad teams. I think they did lose to the Jaguars, but they've lost to the Bucs. Are arguably they're the defending champs, so they could repeat. I can't remember who they lost to. The Patriots. The Patriots are really, really good. They could win it.
They're also the Colts.
So what?
They're also the Colts.
Yeah, but I think they have a shot. Just get in the playoffs, and they would play the Titans. I think they could beat the Titans.
Yeah.
So if the playoffs started today, so we'll see. You just gotta, to me, find a way to get wins, make the playoffs, and then take it from there. But would I bet on them making a run? No, but I think they can. I could probably bet on them making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs and all that, but it depends who they match up with. I think you say they play Tennessee, the second, the second seed or the 7th seed, or for the 2 seed in the current format. And if one thing that concerns me about Buffalo is that, despite them being a really good defense, they stuck against the run, man. And if Tennessee gets Derrick Henry back by that time, and he's healthy, it could be the same results. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's it will be the right move to play them in the first round. If New England, New England has to lose. If New England lose this week, and then they play them again, maybe we could, they could get sneak back in there and get the division. But man, I don't know, man. It's just Buffalo. They don't run the football, man. You like in the playoffs, you got to run the football. They struggle to do that. I think, I don't know, man. The team is kind of like the two dependent on Josh Allen to get things done with him and Stephon Diggs. So, we'll see, man. I'm not sure they can make a run though. All right, so
you got to be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to have balance. I was just gonna add this. Yeah, you got to have balance in the playoff. I think there was a stat. I think it was against the Bucs. They didn't even run it in the first half. I cannot believe that. There's some talks that Dable could get some head coaching opportunities. He better do a much better job. And there's also some talk he could get fired.
Really?
So, Yeah, I don't know if he will, but I could see that if their offense continues to not be balanced and they just don't get the job done. But, yeah, you got to be balanced. So I think the Bills have a shot, but there's some good teams behind them, the Bengals and the Browns in particular, that could make the playoffs instead of they're not careful.
Yeah, man. Shoot, if Dable gets fired, I mean, he'll have a job, man. His name will be on there for a college job, man. If something opens up next year, he'll be there. You know, his name will be on the list. He'll probably go back to Nick Saban's rehab, Wayward Son program for coaches and be right on the staff. Rehabilitation, rehabbing himself, and his name will pop up as a head coaching candidate. But Buffalo, man, look, in my opinion, I saw a tweet on this as well. I retweeted it from somebody. I can't think of the guy's name, but there are some good running backs in this draft that Buffalo can pick up, and they will help this offense. One guy was Kennedy Walker out of Michigan State. He can help. And you can find a running back any round of the draft, man, and it will help this offense. But if I was them, I'll take a running back in the first round. But we'll see. But all right, so we're sticking to the NFL, and our next topic is we're looking at this 7th seed in the NFC Playoff Race that's looking real interesting right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and look at. I got the teams right here in front of me. We got the 6th seed right now. San Francisco has it. 7th seed, the final playoff seed in the NFC is the Washington Football Team, but they lost this past week to Dallas Cowboys. And 8th seed, on the outside looking in, we got Minnesota at the 8th seed, Eagles at the 9th seed, Atlanta at the 10th spot, Saints at the 11th, Carolina at 12, Seattle at 13. So I want to ask you. I think San Francisco keeps the 6th seed going forward. The 7th seed is going to be up for the spot that's going to be up for grabs. But I want to ask you, which team will get that final seed in the NFC right now? Out of the teams that I mentioned.
Right now, I'd probably go with the Redskins. Let me look at it again. But yeah, I'd probably go with the Redskins. But a team that I'm looking out for, not saying they can make it, but a team, if I'm worried, are the Eagles. 2 teams, the Eagles and the Seahawks. And you're probably thinking I'm crazy with the Seahawks, but they got Russell Wilson, and if they figure it out, I feel like the last season, they could probably get in there. If they're 8-8, they'll probably have to win out to you. Well, I forgot there's one more game.
Yeah, 9-8 now.
So 9-8, 8-9. I think that could make the playoffs. So their team, but Washington does own the tiebreaker over Seattle. That's important to know. The Vikings never better make the playoffs because he wants to keep his job. I'm just gonna put it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of these teams have a shot because a lot of these teams are too inconsistent, and if you just take advantage of your opportunities, you can end up being that team in the final spot. Okay,
yeah. All right, I'm just saying this, man. I think right now, man, I'm not sure if WFT, the Washington Football Team, could keep that 7th seed. They play the Eagles. I think they play the Eagles. That's an important game. They play the Giants. Giants can be tricky, a real tricky team. And I think right now I would say for me it's a toss-up between the Minnesota Vikings and New Orleans Saints, and possibly the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons have a tiebreaker over the Saints. The Panthers have a tiebreaker over the Saints as well, but they all play each other because they're in the same division. And Atlanta beat Carolina this past week. So Atlanta plays the 49ers next. So we'll see how that's gonna play out. The Saints, they play Tampa this week. That's gonna be tough. And they play Miami the following week. If they go 3-1 and finish 9-8, they will have the tiebreaker of the Washington football team for that final spot. But the thing is, they need Washington to lose like one more game for that tiebreaker to come into effect. So we'll see how it play out. But I'm leaning toward the Saints and the Vikings to get that final playoff spot. I think Minnesota is really good. Minnesota's they're like the sleeping giants of the NFL, man. Because you saw it against the Steelers, man. The team is really good. They could put up a lot of points, but they blow leads, man. They blow leads a lot. And if they don't get this done, man, they don't get the playoffs, man. Mike Zimmer is done, man. Mike Zimmer is done as head coach of Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they're gonna move on from Kirk Cousins' contract because of his that cap hit is massive. It's like a $45 million cap hit if you cut bait with this guy. But Kirk Cousins just peaks. He doesn't. I won't say peaks, but he shrinks at the most important times. And he don't for whatever reason, he does not. He plays terrible in primetime football. Like he almost blew that game against the Steelers, But I'm leaning toward the Saints and the Vikings to get that 7th seed. Seattle, man, I don't know, man. Seattle, it could be done. It be done. It might be time up for Pete Carroll. Carolina, they fell apart, man. The defense, I don't know what happened with the defense, man. I thought it was a fast defense in the beginning. They fell off, but Matt Rule, I think their owner is a little impulsive, so he might fire Matt Rule. He might. We don't know. He already fired Joe Brady, so we'll see how that play out. But I'm leaning towards Saints and the Vikings right now, so we'll see. All right, man. So I'm gonna get you I got one more topic to talk about. College football topic. Another college football topic, and I didn't know until today that Matt Corral will not be playing the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans.
Wait, I think he is.
No, he's sitting it out, man. Let me look. I saw a post on IG that Matt Corral was sitting it out, man. Hold on, let me see. Matt Corral, he's not playing, man.
I could have sworn. I'll be stunned because the OC, he's coming to Oklahoma, Jeff Levy. So he's coming back. So I believe he is. He may have just come out today. I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure he's playing this final game.
Hold on, let me see, man. Matt Corral. Let me pull up his Twitter. I saw something online saying that he was going to sit it out because of the draft and all that. Yeah, I saw something, man. Well, anyways, man. Well, I guess it ain't news, but I saw something online that he was going to sit it out, man. Sit it out for the Sugar Bowl. He's going to sit out of that game, man. I also heard that what's up?
Was it from a blue check mark?
Man, it was from one of the it was from a NFL it was like one of those NFL pages, man. Catch the Blitz. But I think I must have read it wrong, man. But it is what it is. Yeah. Well, I want to ask you this then. Transfer portal and NIL, man. Do you think it's getting out of hand, man? Because I'm listening to some radio online, iHeart, some college football related, tailored platforms. And I guess the get off my own type of people, the old timers, they're not happy with the transfer portal, the way it's being utilized, and they're upset that the NIL, it's cool that they have NIL, but there should be a cap on how much money these guys should make and things like that. So I want to ask you, do you like the NIL fact, the NIL / transfer portal factor in college football right now? I'll let you know what I feel in a second.
Yeah, I love it because a lot of these coaches. It's funny. It's one thing if analysts are complaining, but if you're a coach and you're making a lot of money, like Dr. Dallas Sweeney, going on yapping about it, and he's making all that money, so I don't want to hear any of that. I love it. The only thing I will say is I think you got to be careful if you're, because it's only a few players that really, like Quinn Ewers, for example, that quarterback that just transferred from Texas. It's not like it's a lot of players that are just benefiting off of I mean, when I'm talking about making big money.
Yeah.
So that the transfer, I love it. I just think one thing I will say is I'm not saying the negative, but there are some unintended consequences because of this. I think some guys are willing to quit quicker than tough it out. Like, for example, let's say I'm a quarterback, I'm part of a class, and I'm a redshirt, and I don't like it. I just leave after either in the middle of the season or at the end. When before I compete once, compete twice. Then if it doesn't work out, then I'll leave. So I mean, I understand. I see both sides. But I'm with the players. If all these coaches can make all that money, the players can do what's best for them too. So, but I think it's gonna create a lot of people maybe not I don't want to say not trying hard, but maybe not competing for a second time. And I think that can maybe hurt some programs and stuff. I think everybody's benefiting. If it's one thing, it was just the big schools were just benefiting, then maybe I have a problem with it. But everyone's benefiting off of it, so I don't have too much of a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree. I really have no issue with it. I mean, the transfer portal stuff is, I think schools, the transfer portal / NIL stuff, like a lot of programs like USC, Texas, Alabama, LSU, Michigan, Ohio State, who else is out there? Auburn, those big time programs, Florida State, Tennessee. I think they're gonna be fine with this stuff. They could withstand this stuff with transfers and all that. It's just the programs like I would say Memphis, Tulane, SMU, those type of schools. They get hurt by this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I think it's good for the players to have these options now. That I think it's finally good that college athletics is getting exposed for what it is. It's I would say a money grab, in my opinion. It's a money grab because a lot of the places around the cities that surround these programs benefit a lot off of what these players do. Their stadiums get expanded to where they're almost like NFL level stadiums now. Economies, jobs are being created because of these guys. So I think they deserve to have a piece of the pie. And it's, the bill is due, and it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that it's here. A player, they get in the transfer portal all they want, but if you can't play, you can't play, and it's gonna get exposed one way or another. So it don't matter if they go to transfer portal to this school, go to that school. They're gonna be exposed regardless. And one more thing, man. I think you mentioned about Bo Nix coming to LSU. I don't know, man. I'm not. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just a rumor that I saw. One of these guys, I think on Rivals, said it's. I don't think it's gonna happen. It was just a potential rumor.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I'm not the biggest Bo Nix fan. I think you already know that. I just think he's like a Sam Darnold, man. He's like, when he's on, it's nice. It's beautiful to watch. But when he's bad, man, he's bad. He's a little reckless with the football. He lost his job to TJ Finley, who was a LSU transfer guy, transfer from LSU. But I like Miles Brennan, man. I mean, I know I'm in the minority on this. I thought Miles Brennan was the better QB out of all of the guys that we had. But if we can get Miles Brennan to come back to LSU, I think it'd be great. While Walker Howard is waiting in the wings. But we'll see how everything's gonna play out. I think LSU got somebody to flip this week. Today, a wide receiver. So, got him coming to LSU, but we'll see how everything plays out. You got anything else to add?
Yeah, I was gonna add one more thing about the transfer portal, then one more thing about. Let me do the transfer portal thing. One thing that could suck for smaller schools is, let's say I'm playing there, I do really well, I could move up, and that, you know what I mean, it hurt the small school. And so that's why I was listening to Gary Parrish. It's more in basketball. Some coaches won't even use all their 13 scholarships for players that can, like, big time players, or players that they feel like.
Yeah.
They'll give it to walk-ons, people that will appreciate those scholarship more. So that's another thing about the transfer portal. But yeah, I agree with you on the Miles Brennan thing. The only thing is, I've been hearing some rumors about Nebraska. I don't know if you've been hearing.
Yeah, I heard that one too. I heard it.
Get after him really hard, and I think he met with Brian Kelly. But I think he would be good for y'all to bring back. I'm just saying that if you don't bring back Miles Brennan, would you rather go with one of the younger guys or bring somebody else in? That's what I would want to know.
I think we gotta go. I will go with one of the younger guys, man. If we can, go with Cade Nussmeier, quarterback we had last year. We played just a little bit. It depends what's in the transfer portal, man. If we could get some guy in the transfer portal, it would be great. But I'd rather go with one of the young guys. I'm not expecting the national championship next year, man. With LSU, man. I'm just not. Everybody with these expectations, man, just need to just calm down. I don't think he's gonna do it next year. So
that's what I was gonna get ready to ask you. So what record or what do you think would be fair expectations? 9-3, 8-4?
I would say 9 wins, 9 to 10 wins, 9 wins. I think they play. I think Auburn's on the road next year. Florida is on the road as well. Alabama comes to Baton Rouge. So looking at 9 wins, man, 9 to 10 wins. I heard Emory Jones is transferred, man.
Yeah, I saw that. So that's going to be interesting. He's good. I think LSU could do better, but
yeah,
I could actually see him going down. But he's gonna. But you never know. The right situation. He's a solid quarterback. He can really run. Throwing it, he's still developing. But that's going to be an interesting transfer there. Man, this transfer portal, I'm looking at it. I'm just like, it's so interesting. Someone called it free agency, and I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Players get to choose their destinations, and a lot of these coaching, like Clemson, I'm looking on YouTube right now, and then this question on ESPN College Football, they're asking, does Clemson need to use the transfer portal more? The answer, in my opinion, is yes. You just got to use it wisely, then, because like sometimes if you bring the wrong guys into your culture, it can really hurt your culture. But I think if you don't adapt, you're going to be left behind. There's this coach, I think at Texas State, his past last year's recruiting class was just all transfers, because he just felt like those guys could help him quicker. And he probably was thinking, if I have some player be really good, they can just leave. And so I'd rather have someone, because if you can only transfer once. So if you bring in a transfer, you know they're going to be there. Only if they just retire or quit football, but they can't go somewhere else and play. And so that's smart. I can see some coaches starting to do that more.
Yeah. So, all right, man. That's all we have for y'all for right now. You've listened to this through YouTube. So give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel. Listen to this through Apple. Let's give us a 5-star rating. Hate, like, comment, share our podcast. Also, you can check us out at strike7sports.com for our latest content on the NFL, the NBA, Memphis Basketball, college football, and much more. As the season, winds down, we'll be transferring. Transitioning on to more NBA related content, more Memphis basketball related content as well. And we also start looking at the NFL draft and NFL free agency once that time is upon us. But Other than that, we have a blessed night. You can follow us at Strike 7 Sports on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just type in Strike 7 Sports, and we should be the first one that's pop up. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace. We out.